The sun rose over Washington, D.C., casting a golden light on the White House. Inside the Oval Office, President Robert Hayes studied reports with a heavy heart. Overnight, Arab oil-producing nations had suspended exports to the United States. It was not just an economic blow, it was a test of America's strength. Gasoline prices skyrocketed within hours. Long lines formed at fuel stations. Stock markets trembled. Families feared how they would power their cars, homes, and businesses. America was facing an energy shock unlike anything in decades. In the Oval Office, Hayes gathered his advisors. The Secretary of State pushed for diplomacy, urging talks and dialogue. But the Defense Secretary warned that this was an attack on U.S. security, demanding a strong and forceful response. The president listened carefully, torn between wisdom and power. Arab leaders defended their decision. They claimed it was not against the American people, but against U.S. policies they considered unfair to their region. Still, their unity shook the global balance of power. Other nations watched closely. Would America bend, or would it strike back? In the Situation Room, experts outlined the option. The U.S. could use its strategic oil reserves, but they would only last a few months. Economists warned of inflation and unrest. Environmentalists suggested accelerating renewable energy, but that was a long-term solution, not an immediate fix. That night, President Hayes addressed the nation. His voice was calm yet firm. My fellow Americans, our energy has been disrupted, but America will not be broken. We will endure, adapt, and emerge stronger. His words gave hope, but debates raged across the country. Some demanded military action, others called for energy independence. Behind the scenes, Hayes ordered quiet negotiation. Envoys reached out to allies in Europe and Asia, seeking mediation. At the same time, the U.S. worked with Canada, Mexico, and Brazil for emergency oil supplies. These steps brought small relief but did not end the crisis. Weeks later, a breakthrough came. Younger Arab leaders recognized the damage to their own economy. In secret talks in Geneva, both sides sat across the table. Tense discussions led to compromise. America agreed to review certain policies, while oil shipments would resume under a new cooperative framework. The world sighed with relief. Gas prices began to stabilize, and markets recovered. Americans slowly returned to normal life. But for President Hayes, the lesson was clear. The nation could never remain so dependent on foreign oil again. In his final address, Hayes declared, "This crisis has shown us that energy is power and security. We must invest in renewable energy and innovation so that America's future is never held hostage again." The city lights of Washington glowed that night, reminders of the crisis survived, and the resilience of a nation determined to rise stronger.